Hello, my name is David Palomas. I'm a lecturer teaching at the chemistry department here at UCL. And in this presentation, I want to show you a new approach we are using with our international students to support them in their transition to active learning, in particular flipped classroom. And the approach we use is sport coaching as cultural references that parallel active learning. Some of the known benefits of active learning include an increased academic performance, increased engagement, and the fact that active learning are inclusive practices. However, some students still resist transitioning into these practices into active learning, and some of the most common reasons for that are a lack of understanding of the rationale that there is behind using active learning, or the fact that they are very well accustomed to traditional teaching, to teacher-centered practices, and this all leads to lower engagement and also could lead to lower academic performances. And all these issues, unfortunately, are more pronounced in the communities or of international students. So this kind of creates an engagement paradox in active learning. So on one side, we have the knowledge that active learning is supposed to increase engagement. On the other side, when the students resist active learning, then the engagement is reduced. So how do we engage the students with active learning so we can increase engagement? So the approach we are using is combining active learning with sports culture references. So in this way, we introduce active learning in a context that is easy for the students to understand. We don't use complicated language. We stick to common sports language that parallels active learning, uses an example as a comparison that they can understand. And in this manner, we can also work in the same manner as there are individual and collective sports. We can work on individual and group skills with our students. So this is the model that we are used for flipped classroom is based on tennis coaching at the moment. And in this slide, I want to compare traditional teaching with flipped classroom. In traditional teaching, a student would go to the tennis court to watch, to observe the lecturer, which is a tennis player. And then after seeing the lecturer playing tennis, they would go on their own. That would be self-practice. They would go to the court and practice what they have learned before they have to approach they have to do an assessment that in the case of tennis could be championship like a grand slam, for example Wimbledon. um, on the other side, in flipped classroom, students or prospective tennis players would take the material in advance in the form of educational materials that we would create, online videos, readings, and then the time they spend in class, in workshops, or what would be the equivalent of tennis of a coaching session, they would spend with their peers and the lecturers, which are professional tennis players, practicing their tennis skills before they have to go to do an assessment, which would be again a championship like Wimbledon. And our argument for this approach is that it is more difficult to win Wimbledon if you don't train with your coach. Well, you can always say that regardless the approach, traditional teaching or free classroom, well, there will be students, maybe a few of them, that will be succeed and they may end up winning Wimbledon. They may have having good grades in their assessments, but we are not targeting those students that are already very good students. We want to support low achievers and also those that come from disadvantaged backgrounds or never use or they have completely different educational systems and they struggle more with active learning. And for the last few slides, I want to show you some of our preliminary results. This year, we started for the first time a new master's MSc in chemical sustainability. We had our first cohort that was made of 11 students, all international students. And before we started one of our theoretical modules, we asked them the following question: if they have ever heard of flipped classroom. So we obtained 8 answers out of 11 students, and 5 students say no, we have never heard of flipped classroom, as opposed to 3. And very interestingly, the 5 students that said we don't know about flipped classroom were the students that had never studied abroad. At the end of the module, we also asked them a few questions. We wanted to know if our approach had an impact in their transition to flipped classroom. So we asked them if they understand now flipped classroom. So we had 8 answers out of 11 students for this question. We were using a Likert scale from 1 to 5, 1 being no, absolutely no, and 5 like really well understand flipped classroom now. And we got 7 answers saying 5, and we have 1 answer saying 4. So overall, it seems that the students understood flipped classroom. We also wanted to know a bit more about the impact of using sports coaching cultural references in their understanding of flipped classroom. And when we asked them if that helped, we had 6 answers out of 11 students, same Likert scale, and 5 students said 5. So 1 student said 4. So it seems that at the moment, initially, our approach using sports coaching cultural references, relatable reference that in principle students can understand, help them to understand a flipped classroom. We also had some positive feedback from the students. They seem to have welcomed the flipped classroom approach, but their feedback is not clear about the actual impact of sports coaching in them liking flipped classroom. So we still need to work a little bit on being able to deconvolute the reasons why they enjoyed flipped classroom, but that will come in the future with more students. And this is pretty much it from my side. Just wanted to thank you for your kind attention, for listening to me. I'm leaving you a QR code that links you to my website and my email for contact if you want to discuss more about this, or if you would like to apply this approach and collaborate with us. So thank you very much again. Bye bye.